this game notwithstanding, it's refreshing. We can finally let out that breath of fresh air. We can say, yesterday we locked in our A group, our Group A playoff picture. Today, locking in our Group B, and there were a lot of uncertainties. There was a lot of nonsense going on. But I'm glad it's all resolved. Finally, one more game to kind of close out the regular season of Stage 2 and maybe give us a taste of what we can expect in playoffs, but I suspect it is going to be anything but. We're headed to Consulate, and we can already see the shenanigans are aplenty. We've got a sledge ban coming out, which, although uncommon, we actually see this so, I mean, the sledge is such an essential operator. We talked about this a lot earlier on our first Consulate matchup where we saw the impact of the vertical play, but the Echo ban, that is a little bit more surprising. I know Nocturnes have used him before, but I don't think he's the staple on Consulate that you really need to take off the board when someone like a Valkyrie and someone like a Mira are both in play.
Hmm. That's definitely interesting. So, Mira, Valk, Cade, all those operators still prime for the picking for Nocturne's defense. We'll start things off on console. So, the other thing about this map, Consulate, both these teams have banned it 3 times, and Nocturnes has played it once. It was against Aqualix at the very, very beginning of our season. So they haven't played it since. I don't know if maybe Consulate is not in their pool anymore, or maybe they're just literally not going to show anything on this Playday. But they're already going to be running a Clash on top floor. Now there's a certain T3 IGL that I have known for a very long time that loves to run a Clash top floor strategy. And the initial setup, it's a little similar. Clash, when I see it on top floor, typically plays in and around the front desk area. Either she plays on yellow to stop a yellow push supported by someone in bathroom, but that's, I believe... Oh no, there's the rotate. I thought it was full reinforced for a sec. Or he plays in front desk to watch long haul and delay an admin side push. So we'll decide. We'll see where the attackers decide to go, and that'll pretty much decide where the Clash plays.
Well, looks like Freak won't be able to play anywhere any longer in this round, as he will be the first player to fall. A hailstorm of bullets will pour through the double Visa door and silence him for the remainder of round number 1. Looks like Lackey, eager to maybe answer back for his fallen teammate, has now pushed up the basement stairs and is looking towards the main lobby. Still, most of Nocturnes will remain just holding vertical angles and holding these positions on this top floor. Again, on a bomb site that we rarely get to see played competitively here because it does turn into kind of a window repel and run out simulator when you really get down to it. But Outlast, they're not going to lend themselves to that kind of strategy. They are going to do the kind of other option you have on this tape, which is work your way into the admin side and work your way through from this long desk.
The attacker's making sure that they can't be flanked through Visa. That's a good first step to take. Exod is currently covered by a castle barricade on his pro door, so all he has to worry about is his back towards that wall into kind of where it looked at a copy you saw him watching the angle earlier. And now, the pro Balk. We see, where is Mo? I think I saw him watching long desk before. Yeah, okay, so he's here to call out for Exod, tell him, hey, there's going to be someone pushing your back, or he's just going to take his gun out. All right, that's interesting. Exod will be forced out of Pro, though, forced to drop down the hatch, and now Pro is pretty much ripe for the taking, especially as Nomad gets that flank watch kill. So now it's a 2-man advantage for Outlast. One of the people on Nocturnes being a Clash, so pretty much, you know, not a gun on the board unless she swaps off the shield, which we don't often see Clashes do until it's a clutch situation. But Outlast are still taking their sweet time. The nade will finally come in, though. That's a brilliant one from Atheno on the balcony to finish FICO off in Con, opening up Pro even more. Lackey gets a nice pre-fire headshot on the Genesis, but it's still just him and Mo against 4. The plant attempt should come in soon. Wow, what a shot from Mo, ripping the head off a Jewel, but there's still someone to pick up that diffuser and continue the plant, and that's going to be Panic. There's nothing the defense can do about it, so this will be a post plant. And on Consulate, any and all post plants are pretty difficult to begin with, and Lackey being on just 1 HP, he's finished off by Panic. Mo gets a refrag as the Clash, but he's still got 2 more to find, and as he's air jabbed, Outlast, they know exactly where he is, and they'll likely know exactly where he pushes from, as Clash, well, she's pretty dang loud. He's got about 18 seconds to work with, since, of course, the 7 seconds does not stop the clock. And he'll just go for it. Back turns to the window, but it doesn't matter. He's just kind of sitting there, and the head still peeks up above it. Atheno finishes him off, and Outlast take round number 1.
Yeah, that's a pretty clean round number 1. A messy one, but that's kind of what we're going to expect for most of this map, I assume. We saw some early aggression from Nocturnes, answered right back from some aggression from Outlast, and playing the trade game on through that execute was really the perfect formula for success, taking quick control, meeting Projector, and making sure they could get that bomb down. From there, in a 2v1 against a Clash, while Clash is extremely potent when you're on the side of the advantage, the 2v1 side, or even in a 1v1, if you know what you're doing, in a 1v2, there is not a single thing any sort of Clash can do but just take out that pocket F2 and hopefully just fry people until the end of the round. And while Mo was able to get 2 pretty good kills, I'll give him credit for that, it wasn't going to be possible at the end of the day. So good start from Outlast. They'll take their first attacking round, and Nocturnes will pivot things around, not going to top floor again. They'll head actually straight to lobby. No, they're going to split here. We're going to see Archives and Tellers now in the mix.
There's no pulse either.
A Doc instead.
Yeah. The info-heavy Doc now for Lackey. He's got the bulletproof cam. That's one source of info. You can also peek for info with Doc and just heal yourself back up, A lot of people use Doc for that. I don't know. I mean, they've got 2 C4s, and they've got 2 bulletproofs, and if they get any Mozzie drones, they can situate them inside the site. I'm sure that's what they're playing for. But otherwise, like we had highlighted, pretty weak on info, no pulse, so no exact, heartbeat pings from below. We'll see how Outlast try to deal with it, though. I'm interested to see how Lackey, well, not really how, but where Lackey decides to play this. Almost everything we see from Doc is that someone wants to be aggressive and not have to pay the HP price for it, and it looks like I'm just going to be pro and peeking the Castle Barricade Pro.
Hey, why not? You've got some extra health to play with. Just got to avoid getting headshot, which isn't easy to avoid when you're going prone and peeking an angle. But that's beside the point. We can see how Outlast are beginning their clear. Seems that an initial entry in that garage side will be at least the mission of 1 player that Exod will be now contesting. But aside from that, you've got players working their way in from above. Both Panic and Atheno have entered in through the main lobby area, opened that hatch, and they're ready to force this pressure on downstairs when necessary. Genesis has now taken firm control of cafeteria, now security as well. It just is about figuring out where Exod is positioned and how you're going to deal with him. Exod nervous that someone is lurking around the corner now that the camera has been shot out, but will remain stalwart in the corner for now. Not going to call out for help from his teammates, knowing that this position is likely where he will die. He'll go for a pre-fire, hoping he can make something happen. But Genesis and a skeleton key, that's enough to get the job done. Opening pick for Outlast yet again.
Minute 12 left, though. And they're still trying to work this downstairs push. Now, there is someone in circle that Mo has to worry about. He'll get tagged up. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Atheno didn't get that kill, but Genesis and Nomad are doing enough work down below. Inside of blue, they take full control, and the site is theirs. It's Lackey on Doc and Mo on the ump to retake in a 2v5, make that post. Lackey, he gets 1 kill through the hatch, so, Genesis is now dead, but as Mo hits an air jab, they know exactly where the castle is coming from. He'll regroup with his Doc friend. Maybe Lackey gonna stim the castle? No, it looks like Mo is just gonna go in with the low HP. Lackey gets tagged up. He'll have to back off on the fight, maybe lick his wounds with that stim pistol, but he'll just be finished by Nomad coming around the corner. Mo gets the refrag, but he can't find the second, and Outlast take round number 2.
Another clean round from Outlast, a frag-heavy round. Not much to it in terms of where you're going to clear from and any sort of brilliant strategy game played there. It was Nocturnes eager to get kills and Outlast eager to stop them yet again. Exob, the most forward of those players, contesting heavily the onslaught that Outlast was placing into that garage-sided push into that basement site. And while he was pretty much solo holding that position, no support from his team, that means that Outlast had a relatively easy job clearing him out. Even if that first player, even if had Genesis gone down in that engagement, there were two players close behind to play that trade. You had two people playing above for quick to rotate down into cafeteria to get that job done. So great stuff there from Outlast, and Nocturnes are yet to find a site that feels comfortable for them. They tried top floor, they tried split, and now they'll just head downstairs to garage to see if this is their site of choice.
We shall see. Surprised Nocturnes haven't been able to take a round just yet, but, you know, they've been playing pretty hyper-aggressive. Are you going to open the wall? All right, there we go. Oh, actually, he's not going to put the shield in that hole. He'll put it on pipes instead. And there is no other shield as Freak, the Warden, is bringing C4. And maybe even roaming, actually.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
I imagine Outlast are going to do a pretty default take. Piano in, open garage. There's no Cade. There's nothing to stop the breach other than just a mute jammer, which, you know, goes down real easy. So I wouldn't be surprised if the breach gets opened even by the 2-minute mark.
I mean, yeah, the Outlast efficiency has been pretty good, and Nocturnes haven't put a lot in their way. Most of their defensive presence has been on the site itself or kind of just running around individually, trying to go for sort of aggressive but, you know, clippable plays, you could say. But Outlast are in a mood to stop that, as they've done for now 2 rounds in a row. Vertical play going to begin. That's going to take the form of the skeleton key once more from above into lobby there. But Lackey is, in fact, the first player to strike and get a kill. That's going to be an opening kill for Nocturnes now for the first time in this map is Panic, player who's had 2 kills so far, but other than that, still looking to continue to get into the groove, is taken on down, and now he'll be relegated to support his teammates in any capacity while they continue the vertical play as a 4-man. Nomad has now joined Genesis inside of lobby, or at least nearby, as the air jabs are going to be critical to locking off the flank. Smart to bring the Nomad, considering you've got 4 or 5 now hungry and eager to rotate and flank defenders in the mix on the side of Nocturnes. But they'll not budge for now, knowing that there is likely someone on the close watch. The Maestro is going to be good to deny this plant, but they're going to have to actually wait for Outlast to push on in, and they've waited just a bit longer to do so.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, luckily they've still got that buck. Genesis still doing work above, making sure that positions like front white, back white, over towards yellow pillar are all clear. There's still BPs up, though, and that's what Athena is going to go over and clear with the Gug on 6, so no more free info for the defense onto yellow and such. Okay, Freak is just going to swing yellow stairs from pillar and kill Nomad, so that's your stairs player now dead. You no longer have that important position as the attack, and the nade on the Freak's shield will miss, so he's still got something safe to play behind to stop anyone moving through the breach. Jewel is left outside all alone with only 30 seconds left. His other 2 teammates appearing like they're going to funnel down yellow almost. Freak does take some damage, I believe, from outside that breach. Genesis tries to wade in through a gas canister and gets put on the floor, finished off by Mo. And Freak, with another beautiful shot out the breach, gets another. It's just Athena stuck on the yellow stairs, now going back towards Piano, with a 1v5. He gets 1. Mo is dead. There's only 5 seconds. He's got no diffuser control. It does not matter. And Freak confirms his 3K. Nocturnes take their first round.
Nice one there from Nocturnes. Actually, taking down the aggression notch just a little bit. We didn't see them force any early engagements on those top 2 floors. No roam, no extension, really. It was just 5 defenders on the site itself, waiting for, you know, their time in the sun, their time to shine. And, well, we saw how they did that quite well. Every player from Outlast trying to push on through individually got mowed down one by one. And despite the flank wash and despite having all their bases covered, they just weren't ready for some more aggressive swings when it came to pushing the objective. They hadn't seen that aggression elsewhere on the map, so it's reasonable to think that they're going to come onto a pretty normal defensive
Defenders,
setup, and they're
protect your
going to
bombs from
maybe
being defused
go
by
through
attackers.
their normal checklist, but
Bomb located
they were
by
not ready
attackers.
for Freak and his aggression, and Moesi playing that quite well all the way through. So good job for Nocturnes to make some adaptations and to take their first defensive round of the map, and now with maybe a little bit of that momentum recovered, they're going to head back up one flight of stairs to now lobby and press room and see how they can fare here.
Yeah, we haven't seen Nocturnes defend this site yet. They've gone to each of the 4 once so far through our first 4 rounds. Standard top floor hold. It looks like they are bringing the Valkyrie now. I'm surprised, we're not seeing her until round number 4. That's a bit late, considering she's infinitely useful on almost every single site in the game. We're also sticking the Maestro, so there's plenty of info for Nocturnes to use at their disposal, and there's also 3 C4s. So Outlast do have an IQ, and that's pretty much the only time you're going to see IQ is when Valkyrie is being brought. And on a lobby take, there's not really a lot of utility that you need necessarily, so you have the flexibility to pick her up.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing, throughout the rest of this matchup is a lot of those operators that you don't get to see necessarily in a as high stakes situation, but do have a good bit of potential, and they are very viable on a map like Consulate. And I think that's why we saw the Sledge ban and the Echo ban, because those 2 operators, while not regularly banned, especially the Echo, is a really great option when you want to mix things up on defense and try out new strategies. But of course, with that being banned, those yokai drones not taking effect.
Ooh.
Great shot there from Freak. A nice little angle established, and a second one. Good night, Jewel. He looks for 3, and there it is. Freak going massive. Panic finally silencing the beast on this top floor, but he has single-handedly demolished the Outlast attack before it could even begin. With 90 seconds to work with, it's going to be up to Panic and Atheno to pull out a miracle.
Wow.
Attackers have recovered their
That
diffuser.
is why the analyst desk was hyping Freak up so much. Because he does that. Goodbye to 3/5 of Outlast's strength. It's just Panic and Atheno left to clutch up a 2 versus 4. Now, Panic, being the top performer for Outlast so far, he's done some incredible things. Can Atheno step up to the plate and help him out? They still haven't cleared out the top floor players. Exod is still chilling in the cubby. There's even still Valkyrie cameras to let the defense know if any attacker decides to get cheeky. They'll open up the flank watch spot on the spiral, but I'm not quite sure how much good that's going to do, especially since none of the defense is in the basement. Athena will drop, just making sure of that himself with his face. But there is FICO coming in from Garage, who will eventually be caught by said Iana. So the man advantage for Nocturnes dwindles to just 1. But still, only 30 seconds. Atheno has done away with the ADSs. He could potentially send a nade up the hatch over in Mo's direction. In comes Panic. He's now made his way into circle, dusting off the Evil Eye that can no longer see anything of use unless Mo decides to open it thanks to that new change. But in the meantime, Exod, who was left above, retakes Pro, and he's able to spot the planter, denying Panic nice and easy. Lackey goes down on the yellow stairs, but Atheno doesn't have any time to go and recover the diffuser, and the defense is going to play passive. Mo is just hugging this corner with the 81. As soon as Atheno exposes himself, he's a dead man. Nocturnes will tie up the score 2-2.
Nocturnes definitely had me worried for a second. In a 2v4 in most situations, we'll see that team really group up, play as a unit, the team with 4 rather than the team of 2. I mean, in both cases, that would be applicable, but we really saw Nocturnes give Outlast a couple of 1v1s. Actually, all 4 of those defenders were spread out. They weren't necessarily in refrag range, playing pretty individually. First, it was FICO rotating down below, and then you had a couple more just 1v1 engagements that had Outlast won. I think that round could have gotten a lot more interesting, but really good heads-up play from Exod, rotating up and meeting, using those pre-placed soft destruction holes that they already had made onto those default plants, and, well, denying it perfectly, even without the Maestro cam. knowing
Attackers need
with
to locate
some
and
big
defuse
brain, some
bombs.
game sense to assist him, that plant's going down behind circle desk. Make sure to get that angle, shut down the plant, and at that point, it was a tall task to be sure. So 2-2, the overall scoreline now. And Nocturnes, it's been messy, but they have brought this one back against their, what would some call weaker opponents, but they have both been certainly putting on an interesting show so far on Consulate. We're going to see the doc come back out, so that's another bit of excitement, but everyone else pretty similar operators to what we've seen thus far. Nomad, however, will be switching off of their typical Nomad role and actually be moving on to the Zero. So all that intel that Nocturnes were utilizing on the Valkyrie last time, maybe Outlast thinks, let's get some of that intel for ourselves. Let's pull out those Zero cams.
Got Lackey on the dock again, too. Alright. Wasn't able to make anything happen last time, but we'll see if Nocturnes are able to change their tune this round. Are they going to be going for... Okay, I thought with the ace going there, I thought they were going to go for a downstairs take. Genesis is already lit up. I don't even know from where. Yeah, I have no idea what he was peeking. Last time, Freak was in admin. It spelled significant trouble for Outlast. Now he's got Mo supporting. There's the patented Gunner C4, but it will go wide. It'll only deal a little bit of damage to Panic. Atheno moving into Pro. There's that under castle barricade angle used by Lackey, doing a lot of damage to the Iana, but that's about it. The Nocturnes, instead of just trying to circumvent the clear this time, are going to full press it.
Yeah, Outlast walking their way into what could be certain demise if Freak goes for another multi-kill round. And if Outlast don't drone out Mohesi, this could also be a serious problem. Freak is, yes, being stealthy and being, you know, a force in admin, but he's also making as much commotion as possible at the same time. That's going to leave Mohesi, ideally, unnoticed, and he could find a pretty impactful kill here. No, just spotted out by the Yana drone, but it seems to not matter. Genesis is going to peek right on into the castle's crosshairs, and Mohesi will be more than happy to claim that kill. It was gifted to him. Lackey will finally be down. Oh, but a pistol will be whipped out, and Freak coming from above will be in a perfect place to get that kill, but narrowly missing the headshot on Atheno means that this one is going to be tied up 3-3 in the overall man count.
Mo is finally being pressured in admin as well. He'll decide to drop the hatch and escape with his life, playing the site with his team instead. There's only 45 seconds left. Those bulletproofs in the site are probably still there. You know, Atheno does have utility. He's got, well, he's got a nade to his name, but Nomad, okay, Nomad just kind of sprints in and gives his life up to Mo. Atheno droning down, making sure it's clear for Jewel. That allows the ace in the site. Getting tagged up from the floor holes, but not finished off, means that he could perhaps start getting this plant down. He's got to be worried about the C4 from FICO, though. That still lurks underneath. As Atheno watches circle, Exod is right underneath the Iana's scope. Exod starts to peek around. Here's Atheno on the prone angle. He's not looking in the right direction. That's an easy kill for Exod. It is just Jewel in a 1v3, and the time is dwindling. He has to stick the plant. He's able to get a nice flick on the Mo, but Exod is there for the trade, and Nocturnes take the lead.
Yeah, great defensive performance there from Nocturnes, exploiting the weaknesses of Outlast at every turn. Those weaknesses, a little bit of time delay, but one bigger weakness that Nocturnes already exploited earlier was the admin hold. That not only wasted a lot of time, but it resulted in the death of Genesis. It resulted in Atheno taking all but 1 HP worth of damage. It resulted in a big ol' mess. A mess that Freak has been happy to be in the middle of for multiple rounds now. I mean, if I'm Nocturnes, even though I'm going downstairs to garage here, I may even consider slapping Freak in admin once again, because maybe by the grace of God, someone from Outlast will just walk in and get shot in the face yet again. I mean, that has been kind of Freak's formula for success, joined by Mo with 7 kills each, and this duo that has, of course, been talked so much about this stage, never disappointing.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds, I was a little bit, you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, so I was a little bit worried for Nocturnes, but they seem to be back to form. And they're still going for a pretty heavy roam on Garage. They've even got castle barricades upstairs with them. You know, FICO and Freak with their plenty of drone denial. Freak will probably be playing admin again, I would assume. I don't know if he gets 3 nasty shots in a row like he did the last time they defended this, but hey, one can hope. I imagine he'll at least be able to go 1 for 1, because, you know, Freak is just that nasty. And we'll see how Outlast decide to clear it. Looks like it's going to be very similar with... oh, no, never mind. It's not going to be similar. They are just going to rush right into Visa, down the hatch, and apply this pressure early on. It is a rush. Here comes Freak from the flank. He's cut down by Genesis, but the entire attack is being stopped by a shotgun, and there's a C4 to boot. Lackey with the first, Exod with a double C4. Mo shuts down another, and FICO finishes the last. The rush... even though it looked like it was about to catch the defense off guard, the fact that there was a shotgun holding a 90-degree angle and no one coming in from concrete pretty much stopped it right in its tracks.
In most contexts, you wouldn't praise a play like that, but I gotta give it up to Outlast. That was a good attempt, and you love to see that kind of quick round in a match like this, you know, alleviating our pain a little bit quicker than... it would have been had they gone for that full clear. So a really good attempt, and I love the unexpected element of surprise they tried to go for there. But that rush play is, well, it's not going to say overused, but everybody knows about the Archives hatch drop straight into the cafeteria rush. And all it took was one player with a shotgun and a C4 to pretty much methodically pick apart that attempt. I would love to see that stuff from Nocturnes as well on this side if they choose to come out with that aggression. Based on this lineup, I think we'll see something pretty standard, but the fact that we do have the Jackal in play maybe suggests that those roam clears that we saw from Outlast that maybe took them a little bit more time than they would have liked will be sped up and made more efficient by the fact that you have a Jackal. You can scan the feet of probably Panic, who is going to be jumping up and down every hatch in sight.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, they also have Pulse Shotgun. I just realized.
5 seconds to...
All right. Normally, you know, when we do see an Oryx on this map, it's on Archives Tellers. He has plenty of maneuverability in and around the map. He can hop up those hatches. You got the Pulse Shotgun. He will be lurking down below in Archives for, you know, foreseeably the entire round. So if all the C4s miss, he's still got a shotgun to play with. There are 3 C4s in the pockets of him, Athena, and Genesis. They've even got a Castle Barricade. They've also got Mira, something that Nocturnes did not bring on this site. But Nocturnes, it looks like, are also going to go for a blue rush. Here it comes. Freak is already able to get the first kill. There's no one playing the Mira window. Freak team kills his teammate so he can grab the frag himself. But Nomad coming from behind gets 2 before he's traded by FICO. Still in the bomb site. The front door watch from Mo, unsuccessful so far. The Oryx is able to get away. And FICO, the only man who is still left in the building, goes down. It's just the Nomad. He drops the hatch right into the waiting arms of Panic. It's a rush attempt after rush attempt, and neither are successful.
Well, that one was actually going the way of Nocturnes until a pesky little castle, I think it was, came up from behind Nomad, lining up 2, and instantly changing the course of the round. Nocturnes, well, Freak had found 3 kills, I think, 2 onto Outlast and 1 onto his teammate.
Something like that.
Which gave them the man advantage from the get-go in that rush. But in a rush like that, sometimes, I mean, as an attacking team, you are not droning out anything. You're not covering any of your bases, and one player that sneaks up from behind or is in a little corner that you weren't quite wary of can immediately change your fortune in the round. And that's exactly what Outlast made happen in round number 7. So they will claim their 3rd, and they'll be more than happy to take that bomb site win and move upstairs right away. They'll head towards lobby and press room now to see what kind of defense they can cook up here and see what kind of rush, I would assume, they have to come up against.
That would be pretty funny if Nocturnes continue to rush. They're still bringing Thermite. Just playing it safe. You'd rather have a Thermite than not if they happen to go Garage. But, again, pretty standard defense from Outlast. Top floor presence being exuded by Genesis on the Jaeger. And Nocturnes with all their drones, or looks like a lot of their drones outside. I have to assume that they're not going to rush. They're taking it slow. So we're actually going to be able to see how Nocturnes take the top floor this time. It's looking like it's going to start admin side. We didn't see any defenders actually playing admin before, not like Nocturnes did, so this should be an easy start to the clear. I would at least assume. The question is, how do they deal with Genesis, and how do they deal with Nomad after they get themselves in the building?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
Panic
it's
is
good to see
also
they
in the
don't.
basement.
Yeah, they don't have someone to deal with immediately in the admin side. They don't have someone like Freak just sitting in there and fragging out. But you have to be wary of Panic, who's playing all the way downstairs. And I think we just heard that C4 go off. And, well, by the indication that you have no damage dealt to anyone on Nocturnes, that is all but wasted. Freak is insane. I don't know how you get that kill, but by some miracle, Freak, I mean, okay. Take that kill. Genesis is gone, and you still have some health to work with to be nasty yet again. Nomad, in hopes to bring this one back, will be wary of the pressure now building from these Visa stairs, while the rest of the team kind of groups back up on the site itself. Nocturnes doing their best to contest this top-down pressure as soon as possible. The great shot from Freak will certainly assist that, but you still have a lot of real estate to take control of. One of those places, that's going to be Yellow Stairs, where Atheno is sitting comfortably, DMR in hand, and, well, Projector, being that second location, will be the location where Freak is buried. Nomad still content to hold this position, and Nocturne's actually backing off. No, Mo is going to push alone while the rest of the team sits back, and that's going to be a great shot from Nomad, resulting in the death of the Nomad, and now giving Outlast the edge.
I did not expect Nomad to win that. Now the C4, unfortunately, getting stuck on the doorway, and it'll be shot out by FICO. He's looking to make an aggressive play in with the buck against Nomad. They're doubling up on the doorway as well, but they're not pushing in just yet, afraid of somebody, perhaps in Con, ready to cut them off. Another flashbang comes through. He'll be pressured from both the front and the back. FICO ends up getting that kill, and Athena will decide that he's overstayed his welcome on Yellow. No longer having any support, deciding to play with his team on site. The HP advantage is in the favor of Outlast in the 3v3, as now Nocturnes have to turn their attention towards the site. With Panic lurking just under the hatch, Nocturnes might not expect this. Is he able to get back away, though? Secure himself inside of bathroom, inside of B1, with Atheno covering the piano drop down. But this entire attack is headed over towards the main doorway. Exod flashing through. Here's the drop, safe from bathroom, decides to plant by the flag post. Utility coming in from Zoe as well, clearing the shield. Jewel getting the kill onto FICO, but Atheno being stopped by the air jab means he cannot deny the plant from Exod. It's a 2 versus 3. There's pressure from both the front and back on the Thermite. He's pinched out. Panic gets the kill, but Lackey's still outside. It's Panic and Atheno in the 2 versus 1, but I don't know if Lackey can see the diffuser from outside. He might have to push all the way in, and Atheno has the cover. Panic will just stick, and Outlast will tie up the score 4-4.
Hey, good on Outlast. Nice retake. Making sure to figure out where that last player was. Great assumption that they were outside of that lobby double door. That's pretty default spot. Unfortunately, the plant spot, that was where the problem came in. Without the proper angle from outside, it was impossible for Lackey to contest that and play that passively. He actually had to go in actively and take that fight. And when you're forced to do that against 2 defenders, that is not going to go in your favor. Outlast playing that really well. In a 2v1 with 2 options, either double swing or one person hold while the other person plants. Well, we know what they chose there, and it was the perfect decision.
Yeah, well played. I believe that was Panic and Atheno. The plant spot from Exod, I know why he did it. There was no one covering Spiral. That's kind of the safest spot from someone swinging jungle. There ended up being an air jab there anyway to protect him. But the fact that he planted there all the way behind the desk, that means you can't see it from the front door. Lackey is forced to push in as a perfect chance for Atheno to strike. Post plants tend to be difficult, but when you plant in a spot like that and give the defenders the cover they need, they become a lot easier. So well done by Outlast to take advantage of that. The roam as well, going blow for blow with the roam clear, making sure that they still had the advantage going into it. Well done. And now we're tie score. It's 4-4. Outlast have been matching Nocturnes for the most part blow for blow. I mean, they took the first 2. Nocturnes won 4 in a row, but at this point, all that momentum that Nocturnes had acquired with that win streak is gone. Outlast take another 2 in a row. Now the momentum goes back in their corner, and they're going up to Console. Interestingly enough, the most least popular bomb site, not in the game, on the map by far.
Attackers need to
And they've got a
locate and
Mira.
defuse
I haven't
bomb.
seen a Mira hold on top floor in a long time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Nomad's going to do here. Could be just to assist this admin hold. This is something we've seen from a lot of different teams. You just place at least one mirror window here on this break room wall facing admin, and that can cover a lot of your bases and make a pretty typical clear from this admin side so much more difficult, because not only do you have to survive and check every nook and cranny in this damn room, but you have to then worry about the Mira, who's going to be swinging from that position, has a rotate into Coffin, that little office there, and can pretty much just hold that position until the round concludes. Now, a reasonable adaptation here from Nocturnes would be to play the window game, right? The reason this site has become so unpopular is that it has become a window repel simulator for the attacking team. Every single position can be watched from the rappel. You can challenge every long angle, every close angle. You can do everything you need by putting all players on a window. And the other option, of course, of pushing admin is now going to be hindered by that mirror window. So once they realize this, we might see some sort of change.
We'll have to see. We also don't know where Nomad's second mirror window is going. Or even, I mean, he might not even want to put it down. He might keep it in his pocket because, I mean, you know, where else do you really put it on this top floor site? Do you remember, like, old Siege when they used to put a mirror window on the connector wall watching Console?
Oh, the classic setup, yes.
I still don't understand why that worked, because, yeah, I mean, you could just repel and then
I mean,
shoot it.
Windows are wild, man. People didn't know back then.
I guess not. There was also the bathroom mirror that like watched yellow stairs that you could
Right.
also shoot from
Just
connector.
a window.
That was,
yeah.
it was a weird time. I'm glad to see the mirror sort of meta kind of develop, but Nomad is already going to start to fall back, deciding, you know what, with all the ADSs being burnt, with the util clear that's coming out, I'm not satisfied. But he's just going to peek through the front desk hole, and down goes FICO with a nade in his hand. Beautiful shot from Nomad, and a first pick for Outlast.
Yeah, that's just the way they wanted to start. That's going to hinder this clear even further, and especially now that Lackey's been downed. I think that's downstairs by Spiral. That's going to be huge. Freak.
Wow.
Slammed by Jewel with a nice shot with the SMG-11. Thankfully, Lackey will be able to be revived, but you still have a lot of ground to make up. Thankfully, Mohesi has a bit of a surprise for Panic as the Nomad kind of just walks up yellow stairs with no teammates or intel to work with, but Panic didn't have any of that intel either. Nocturnes are in a good spot, especially now that Exod gets a ridiculous shot through the hatch into Projector onto the head of Jewel. So just like that, everything is on even footing, made even, honestly, more Nocturnes favored now that another piece of wasted utility will come out from the hands of Outlast. Atheno says goodbye for this round as Lackey is happy to find that headshot. Mohesi, a double kill now that Nomad is gone. Genesis, last player standing, gets one, avoids the pre-fire of Mohesi and tries to go for a pre-fire of his own, but is now sacrificed control of meeting and has now allowed this plant to go down. Genesis, not wanting to let that happen, will go for a bit of an aggressive maneuver, but blocked by his own reinforcement. He'll be forced to do this the old-fashioned way. Go for a retake. One perfect headshot will aid him in that endeavor. Now that Mohesi is the last player standing, it's going to be a 1v1. Mohesi now behind the bomb chassis. A perfect air jab saved for the right moment, but Genesis is already in the room. He'll whip out the pistol, and he'll win that engagement. I have no idea how Genesis got in that room without Mohesi noticing, but just a ring around the rosy for the ages and Outlast pulling it out.
Bomb defusing attempt failed. Defenders win.
Wow, Genesis going absolutely massive on the Jaeger in that clutch. 1v2, plant down, catches the first player behind the desk, popping his head up. I guess they maybe just didn't expect him to push through long desk, but either way, making it in as the air jab was being shot, because something that, you know, you can take advantage of that not a lot of people do is when Nomad has an air jab out, there is a very large laser pointing in the direction where she's about to shoot it. So Genesis probably saw the laser come out, decided to sprint in, knowing that the air jab was being launched, and avoids it while it's charging up. Well done by Genesis. You can see the reaction from Mo. He did not expect the Jaeger to already be pushed in deep like that.
Did you see him come in the room? I didn't see his outline.
I didn't even see the silhouette. No, that caught me off guard probably just as much as it did Mo. So well done to Genesis in the post plant. And that means Outlast retake the lead.
It's been a while. It's only the first 2 rounds did they win up until, of course, this last bit of recent success. So yeah, first lead they've held since round number 3. So they're in a good position, retaking that momentum, probably feeling confident after that one, especially Genesis, who really put on a clinic. And well, now that things are getting a bit interesting here, we're gonna head downstairs, and that makes sense why we're going to see both the Maestro and the Mira, both of these hard anchors to lock this site down. But one operator who is kind of not an anchor, not a roamer, but something in between, the Alibi, will also make an appearance. Of course, we all know the patch comes out, the addition of the 1.5 scope to the MX4 Storm, making that weapon that was already very strong into an insanely formidable gun that looks like Panic is eager to use. But Nocturnes, I don't think they want to mess with that. They want to get this wall open as soon as possible, but unfortunately, Exot will not be allowed to persist in this round. Nice headshot there to open things off for Outlast.
Nice shot from Nomad. This, I'm pretty sure, is his best game by far. Currently 10-7. Atheno, also positive. Good to see him doing well. Losing Exod like that, you know, it's not great, but it isn't the biggest deal in the world. The wall is already open, so the Thermite's job is largely done. Genesis is going to avoid the piano overwatch of Mo, at least for now. Issue for Nocturnes is now what to do about these piano players. They cannot really move in. Freak is just going to sprint into the bomb site and say, to hell with the piano players, we'll just take site control, and it ends up working out. Lackey with 2, Freak with 1, Atheno finally trades back, but he's gone, and now it's just Panic. The player upstairs, the guy in bathroom holding the mirror window, he's alone. 1v3. FICO recovers the case. He'll get the plant down, I imagine, probably front white. They don't actually know Panic is in bathroom. You can see the way they're droning the site. And now the Alibi drops, though, right in view of the drone. They know exactly where he is. He's on yellow. The pre-fire revealing his location. He doesn't see FICO crouch behind the black car. Nocturnes tie us up once again.
Yeah, good move there from FICO to push in a little deeper than Panic expected. That kind of same play we saw in the previous round from Genesis, which worked so well. So FICO taking a page out of Genesis's playbook there. But yeah, that ties us up, and that continues this back and forth skirmish that we're having between these two teams. And well, neither team seems to have it in them to fully close this out, making us really wait to see who is going to emerge the victor. Outlast on defense, they have definitely looked good, and they're going to hope that the split site can continue the success they've been having. But this time, we've seen this site now twice, but this time we are going to see a pulse in play, which is refreshing, considering that the Nocturnes prefer to dock to the pulse on this site. And the pulse is objectively the better choice here, but really, the operator selection only gets you so far. It's about how you play with that pulse and how you communicate within your team to make sure to deny that plant and get as many nitro cell kills as possible once that teller's site is under siege. However, Nocturnes, if today has taught us anything, they might like to go for a straight basement take. We've seen this site a fair few times today, but we've actually rarely seen a full-on teller's push. A lot of these teams, they just like to take through the garage and push into the basement.
We've also got Valkyrie, so plenty of info. We've also got 4 C4s, so, you know, should the pulse be alive by the time the execute comes through, I expect at least 1 C4 kill. If I don't see any C4 kills, I'm going to be very disappointed with Outlast in this round. FICO, unfortunately for him, just keeps getting timinged. He cannot get the kill on the Panics. Valkyrie avoiding his sight so far. Lackey, though, will not avoid the sight of Jewel. Watching in from yellow, I think the Zoe just tried to swing in. At least that's what it looked like. I mean, that's the only way Jewel could have gotten the kill from that position, or it could have been on the yellow rappel. But wow, FICO gets dumpstered from a very similar angle. Genesis rips his head off, and it's now a 2-man advantage for Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast just pouring on with these frags yet again, and Nocturnes have found themselves fighting the majority of these rounds, it seems, from the back foot. Even some of these rounds they've won, they've had to come back through pretty sizable man disadvantages, and this round is no exception to that rule. 3 players have to find a way to clear out 5. Now 2 players have to find a way. Now that Mohesi has also been felled. Freak with another incredible shot just to continue the highlight reel of plays this fragger has had this matchup. But it does not revive those teammates that he's lost already. Does make this a lot easier, though, because only 3 players on Outlast remain, and Freak still has some utility to work with, and, well, we know as much gun skill as he has to lay down the line. They'll now take control, or attempt to take control of Archives here, as they'll push straight on into the closet and just hold out in here, and Atheno seems to know this, walks on in and happily collects them both with the UMP. Kind of happens when you get stuck in a closet, you find yourself in a bit of a corner, and, well, Atheno was more than ready to capitalize.
That was really funny. Well played by Freak. Those are some nasty shots. You could tell the play was to smoke off the cross, get into the closet, and they expected there to be a rotate. Normally there's a rotate. And there just wasn't. So they were stuck there. Whether that was Outlast, just like that not being in their... Because that rotate is like default. If Outlast just opt not to do that rotate, or maybe they just happened to forget in this one round, either way, it ended up working in their favor. Not having the default rotate put Nocturnes in a corner, and that was the perfect time for Atheno to strike. And now, Outlast sit on match point. 7-5 is possible scoreline here for Outlast. That would be quite the upset. Of course, again, this game doesn't really matter in terms of standings, but I guess it would be nice for Outlast's pride if they were able to take it.
I mean, that's what this match is all about at the end of the day. It's about pride. It's about that confidence going into the next stage, or in the case of Nocturnes, going into the playoffs. And I know they're probably prepared, though, that this is not going to chalk their mental too much if they end up losing out this matchup, because as we've seen, they are, we'll just call it not running default strats. They're doing their own creative stuff in this one here. But they are going to change things up and yet again bring out those creative juices on to this match point here. They're going to bring out Mohesi on the Lion for the first time. You add the Lion with the Ashe and the Zoe and the Yana, and you've got a pretty aggressive lineup if you so choose to use it that way. Exod will be sticking the Thermite. Nothing surprising there. He's been on the Thermite roll all day long, and that's not going to change even if we see something more aggressive. But for now, their job is just to gain some intel and figure out what kind of shenanigans they are dealing in return. The first of which is going to be Nomad and Atheno. Both hold up here close to admin, but not inside it itself. They're just playing nearby, making sure to apply enough pressure on to Nocturnes here. Make sure they can't push in fully without pressure put back on them.
Ooh, Nomad trying to get away. Will get stifled by Mo. Watching the crossfire. Well played by the Lion to give his team the opening pick. Nocturnes trying to work their way into overtime. Down below is Panic, though, making some default holes onto the Palm Chassis plant in Pro. I don't know if they have a C4 operator downstairs or if it's just the castle. I can't quite make it out with the silhouettes, but no, considering Atheno is inside of Pro, that castle is the only thing they have going for them with the Super Shorty, and he will actually rotate off of the middle floor down into the basement as he has been, or the position has been droned. So Nocturnes have plenty of control. They've even got the Lion watching for the castle. Unfortunately, will come away at the angle just as Panic decides to peek up, but the castle is able to get away. And up yellow stairs, he will resume the hold on site with his team. Rudy Gate's now being burned. This is what the defense was playing for, with the castle rotating off, Atheno rotating in, and he'll be the one to play for the C4.
Ooh, good nade there, right coming under the toes of Jewel, who will now relocate and try to avoid the next nade. And while he might, he won't avoid Freak, who gets 2 kills without a problem. FICA will now get one onto Atheno. Now looking for one more. Panic, the last player eluding.
Oh, you can see him.
Capture. You can see the planter, but had no idea. He'll not get that kill. In fact, he'll only be a victim to Mohesi as he climbs up the spiral stairs to deliver that final kill. Harrison, we saw 2 really good games today. We saw 2 incredible games, and they ended in regulation. And on the 3rd game, the one that doesn't matter at all, we're going to head it to overtime. Why not, I guess? Why not?
Of course, the only game that doesn't matter is the one that goes to OT. It'll be lobby press room first up for Nocturnes. Yeah, pretty default. I mean, obviously, Nocturnes just aren't showing anything. I don't even know if Outlast are at this point. They're bringing Zero now. The Nomad playing Zero. That's going to get confusing. And we've got Valkyrie for Lackey. No IQ for Outlast. So if he throws them outside, they will likely stay outside. They're very easy to hide. Plenty of C4 presence for Nocturnes, despite it being lobby. Really, the only times you see C4 come into play is if it's a piano plant or if they're lobbed through the cubby hatch on the right side of B to kill anyone playing by the bomb chassis and such. It's mainly going to be focused, you know, again, a lot of this defense is going to be focused on the top floor. Yeah, no reinforcements in garage means they're not actually playing for those piano C4s. Outlast,
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, attacking this site, they've only attacked it once. Or sorry, I was on their defense. They've only attacked it once, and they were unsuccessful. But that all was because Freak got one of the best triple kills I've ever seen as Mozzie. So, you know, if he doesn't do that, we'll actually get to see how Nocturnes hold.
Well, they will begin with the pretty same thing we've seen on several occasions prior to this. We have Freak holding admin. Question is, are Outlast going to walk into it head first? That does not appear to be the case. They are going to work their way around it and approach from the other side. Now, you've got Atheno pressuring that player in antechamber, and it will work. A nice headshot through the barricade will send Mohesi to the grave, and will yet again give Outlast the entry pick and the opening advantage, a theme that has been all too consistent for this entire map of Consulate. Genesis furthering that advantage, cutting down FICO, but Freak, as always, is there with a beautiful shot to respond. Still, Nocturnes, a disadvantage, and we can see how antsy these players are, especially Freak and Exob. They really want to work this man advantage back in their favor. But of course, Outlast, they're going to play this one a little bit safer now that they know they have the advantage, and they can take their time and get some intel to work with. Exob and Freak have now actually retaken this top floor, so they are also trying to get a bit crazy with it, but Panic, crouch walking up the spiral stairs from the basement, that's the element of surprise that Outlast needed to take care of Freak and make this one a 4v2.
And now that the position is known, Panic will skate away, back towards Visa, and ascend the stairs to establish vertical presence instead. Exod still on the yellow stairs, tussling or about to tussle with Nomad. They'll both miss their shot. It looks like the Jaeger is keen to fall back. He'll go upstairs just as his teammate falls. It's just Exod. He's got some floor holes that can watch the window, but he allows the player to rappel through. He doesn't see Panic through the melee holes, unfortunately. He's got a ping, but it's far too late. They now know the Jaeger is upstairs. Jewel is getting the plant down. It will be completely uncontested. Exod gets a nice shot onto Panic, but it's still a 1v3 post plant. And once again, it's planted inside circle. Now, you know, you can't see it from outside. So if Exod kills the people inside, it could be a little bit easier, but he's running out of time and he's getting pinged, and it's Nomad to just shoot him in the side. Outlast take round number 13 and put themselves on match point once again.
Yeah, that's why you bring the Zero, because he can be so effective at intel, and the defense sometimes just has no idea what they are looking for. See, a drone, you know roughly where it's going to be. There are default drone spots, being the floor, or in the case of yellow stairs, you can look on the top of the vending machine. You can look on top of like the trash bin in the corner. But if you're looking for a zero cam, you've really got to look everywhere. And, well, simply, there was no time for that to happen. Outlast, they had all the intel to work with. Once the bomb went down, they had the time on their side, and they were happy to take that round as well. So Nocturnes on defense, even though that's the half where they have had a little bit more success, that will not continue in overtime, with Outlast the ones securing the attacking round. Things will flip-flop, though, because it is OT after all, so Outlast will now be on the defensive side, and Nocturnes have a chance to redeem themselves on attack.
Defused by attackers. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Let's see. Outlast have defended lobby once, and they were able to win it in the post plan. That was when their top floor hold went pretty blow for blow with the roam clear, and Exod ended up planting in a not so opportune spot. So, see how Outlast play get round it once again. They have 3 C4s, just as we saw from Nocturnes, but no Mozzie, just the mute. Less drone denial, a little bit more info, and we've also got Melusi. Melusi, being an operator that doesn't see nearly as much play as she used to, excuse me, thanks to the nerf, where if you step inside the range of the Banshee, it will slowly open up, and once it's open, you don't need to melee it. You don't need to blow it up. You can just shoot it, and that's it. So, you know, she can still be useful, depending on where you put the Banshees. I didn't quite see in the prep phase where they are, but still, you know, even if her base utility isn't too successful, it's still a C4.
Located a bomb.
Oh, Exod nearly spotting the player from above, in fact, taking a couple of bullets instead, but I think it's Mohesi who is actually credited with that kill. A nice wallbang onto the player watching that piano window. Freak, coming from elsewhere, will try to, again, be that surprise element, but Nomad with a perfect shot will slam Freak right back. Nomad will now move back into lobby and retreat for the time being, while Nocturnes are forced to deal with the losses they've now sustained. Another Lion scan will go through to now reveal the position of Athenio, and Jewel will take a good bit of damage at the same time. He's kind of the last line of defense here in B1, and he will be continuously naded out while he's just trying to get these toxic canisters downrange and survive the onslaught that Nocturnes are bringing his way. Still a 4v4, but looks like Mohesi is trying to change that. Unfortunately, Atheno sneaks away just past his crosshair, and there's nothing he can do about it. Another flash coming on through. It's not going to connect, and Athena will remain stalwart on the yellow stairs. Now, finally, we'll see some action as Panic is the one to get that kill on Talaki. Final EE1D burn as Mohesi is desperate to hunt down this player on the yellow stairs, but he cannot get that kill, instead letting them fall away and retreat back to the objective.
Exod looks like he's in a position to catch them, but no, he's playing it passively, so Panic will still persist downstairs. Atheno is prone right next to the doorway, being supported by Nomad. In comes the rush, the Valkyrie with 1. Nomad has the trade. That leaves FICO outside in a 1 versus 3, taking damage from the windows, now down below half. There's not a lot for him to do. In fact, it looks like Nomad is going to go kill hunting. His own teammate's toxic gas canister is going to put a stop to that, at least for now. FICO will wade his way into the building. Very little info to work off of. And it ends up being Jewel to finish him off through the hatch. Outlast will take a victory. It doesn't matter in the end, but it's worth the bragging rights. They end their season off in a W, and we will see Nocturnes again